society and government. So please subscribe and enjoy the show, the Latino Conservative Podcast. Listen and share with all of your friends, and subscribe to my eyes, the Latino Conservative Podcast, the Latino Conservative.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining the Latino Conservative. My name is Andrew Alvarez. I'm your host of the Latino Conservative. It's been a while, right? I want to thank everyone for joining me on this YouTube video. And for those of you joining me on TikTok, thank you as well. There's a lot to talk about, a lot that's gone on. So we'll start off with some personal news. For those of y'all who followed me at all, you know that I was running for a U.S. Senate in Texas. Technically, I still am. I'm a candidate still. I just suspended my campaign. So I was running with the self-understanding that if Ken Paxton decided to run, that I wouldn't run, because I believe he has the best chance at beating John Cornyn and whatever Democrat person out there comes out of the woodworks. Who knows? Maybe Beto O'Rourke may come out again. But I was actively campaigning out there. Yes, spending my own money. Hardly took any donations. In fact, $75 worth of donations total. So thank you to all of those donors. Thank you to Nick, Martin, and I never did get the name of the last one. Well, I got the name. I just don't remember it right off. But they're from California. Really do appreciate it. But I was going out there. I mean, I drove. Not me personally. But we drove to Brownsville. From Brownsville, we drove to San Antonio, to Baytown, and to Houston. We were making some good headway. And quite honestly, I could have made a difference. I would have. I will say that way. I would have made a difference. But I didn't want to take any votes away from Ken Paxton. Because to be honest, I think he's a stronger candidate. Because to me, it's not about me winning the U.S. Senate in Texas. It wasn't about that. It was never about that. It was about John Cornyn losing. John Cornyn is not a Republican. He may be filed as one. He may say he's one. And he does a few bills every now and then that says he's one, but he's not. I mean, this is the same guy that tried to take away our Second Amendment rights. It's my Miyoki cup, by the way. So, one thing I saw John Cornyn do recently was starting to lead an inquiry or investigation into Joe Biden's health, his mental health. Why? Come on, dude. Why wait until he is out of the presidency? It's been over 100 days. He is gone. He is out already. He's done. So why? Why? Are you trying to just now make a name for yourself? Because you only do things once every election cycle. That's it. You only do conservative things every time you're up for re-election. We see that. Even with my one good eye, halfway good eye, which by the way has 2400 vision, I can still see straight through your BS. You are one of the biggest rhinos out there. Rhinos at the top level. You hang out with Dave Thalen and all those other yahoos at the Texas level as well. And that's all you are, just a rhino. Republican in name only. That's what that stands for. That's why my theme song throughout the campaign was the Rhino Hunter. Now, I say that I'm still technically a candidate because I am. I filed with the FEC. And I'm kind of holding position right now. I'm not doing anything. Not actively out there canvassing or fundraising. In fact, I don't think I've paid my website bill, so the website might be suspended. I don't know. Sorry, that's me hitting the mic stand because the iPad went off. But if for some reason Ken Paxton cannot run, then I will step up again. there's these other guys out there that were campaigning for Senate, and they just weren't doing it. They just weren't doing it. I mean, I remember going to one meeting where this guy was and where I was. One of the guys, I should say, out there. I even forget his name. I forget his name. That's how memorable he was. But I do remember him telling long stories. Story after story after story. One story was into another story. But, you know, I'm all about stories. Don't get me wrong. I'm great with it. But you got to have some sustenance. You know, what do you stand for? Not just what happened to you. What do you stand for? What do you want to do? Come on, dude. This guy put some people to sleep, literally. And not just the people at my table. The difference is when I went out to campaign, I had some, woos, loud applause. It was great. And with all of that momentum that I was building, Ken Paxton was still the better candidate. And I'm not ashamed to say that. So Ken Paxton has my support as long as he is supportable, if that makes sense. So quick shout out over here to TikTok people. Again, thank you for joining me. I cannot see who you are. If you left any gifts, I do appreciate it. I just can't see because I'm visually impaired. Thank you for whoever did that. I really do appreciate that. But we're going to go on with the podcast. For those of y'all on TikTok, I'm recording a podcast here. See, there's my screen over there. I'm using OBS Studio, by the way. But I want to talk about the THC ban that is on Governor Abbott's desk right now in Texas. And where do I start with this? Now, Lieutenant Governor, who basically is like the assistant manager, the Karen of the office. So Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has been raising all sorts of hell about that THC ban. Raising all sorts of ruckus about how bad THC is. Show me how bad it is. I have yet to see a single study on how bad THC really is. Now, right away, I've had some people in the medical field, some experts, quote unquote experts. It causes psychosis, and it's in the textbook I read. Some dude wrote that it causes psychosis. When was it added that it caused psychosis? It didn't start getting added until sometimes after the Vietnam War that it causes psychosis. What THC does is it helps. Plain and simple. I'm not an avid user, but I have used. I can be on the Texas medical exemption because I have neuropathy in my feet. Sometimes it feels like a fiery hot ice pick has been shoved into my foot for days and days and days. THC can fix that. My sisters, 2 of them, I've got 3, 2 of them lived their last days with pain from fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis. Now, those two diseases, those were complications from lupus, but those 2 diseases, fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis, are not covered by the TCUP, which is the Texas Compassionate Use Program. They lived every single day of the rest of their lives in pain. Now, granted, they could take opioids, but we know how bad those are. Opioids are addicting. They have torn up families, my family included. We've repaired since then, but I've seen it tear up families. When people are addicted to opioids, that is all they want. One opioid leads to another, leads to a bigger, badder, even to the other ones that I'm sure that I can't say because of algorithm reasons. But had they been allowed to take THC, even if it's recreationally, they would have been able to safely go without opioids. My oldest sister, in fact, was on pain management, and she was given, I forget which one, I think it was Vicodin. I hated taking pills. I don't take them if I can't. If I don't have to, I don't take them. But she would have to go in and take drug tests. And if they found any THC in her system, she would be off of the pain management program. So it's like, which one do you do? The one that is natural or the one that is a drug, a heavy drug? How many marijuana related vehicle deaths are there? I don't know. I've never seen that. How many cases of THC overdoses there? I can't tell you that there's ever been one. The little kid who suffers from eating disorders. Guess how they get them to eat sometimes? It's THC products. Yeah, some people get addicted. But you know what? I got addicted to Coke. And I'm not talking about the Colombian variety either. I'm talking about the kind that comes in a red can. Coca-Cola. I got addicted to Coca-Cola. Stuff that I can get over the counter in high doses. A 12-pack. I went through a 12-pack a day. It's part of what put me in this condition that I'm in right now because it was so addicting. The sugar in that was so addicting. Now I can't see right. I'm missing 2 toes. On the plus side, I get a 20% discount on pedicures. But I almost didn't make it. I spent 8 weeks in a hospital bed because of that sugar that is in that Coca-Cola. I drink Coke Zero now. I still like my Cokes. Don't get me wrong. I drink a lot of tea and coffee as well. This cup, by the way, has been a lifesaver. I wish I could say that I got it on the TikTok shop. Well, actually, I did get it on the TikTok shop. You can't get it on this account because I don't have it on this account. It's on my other account. But what I can do is I can put a link to this one because you can get it on Amazon. This cup right here, in fact, I'm going to do that. This cup right here has been a lifesaver for me. Since I can't see very well, everything I see is cloudy. Anything in the dark is darker. Everything in the light is brighter than it has ever been. I have dropped so many ceramic cups, broken so many of them, and it's unsafe for me to do that. This cup right here. I don't know if you can hear that. Stainless steel. Now, people are all about those Stanley cups and whatnot, but this cup right here, this is called Miyoki. It's actually, I think this is like a truck bed liner on it, maybe? Something to that extent. But what I really like about it is, and you know, I'm doing this live on TikTok, YouTube, hopefully this doesn't mess up, but look at that. The top screws on. I've dropped this cup so many times and I haven't spilled anything yet. So look for the link in the description. You guys just go search in the TikTok shop. As soon as I become an affiliate on TikTok, I'll post it in there. But this cup has been a lifesaver and it keeps everything nice and warm. So anyway, back to THC. Let's talk business part of it. Texas has a way to legally get medical marijuana, medical THC, which is called the Texas Compassionate Use Program. Currently, there are 8,000 small businesses that don't use the Texas Compassionate Use Program. These are companies that sell hemp derivative products, THC in small doses in your Delta 8, your Delta 9. There's 8,000 companies out there in Texas, 53,000 employees. Yet, in the Texas Compassionate Use Program, which would be the only way somebody can get medical marijuana in the House version of the bill, I forget the exact number. There are 3 companies left. There are Texas Original. There is, I forget another one. There's 2 more besides that. I can't think of the names right off the top of my head. But those are the only companies, 3 companies that will be allowed to distribute medical THC or THC in general. In the Senate bill version, which is SB 3 or 4, one of those, I forget exactly right off, it actually allows one company, and I forget the exact name of the company, but its parent company is Anheuser-Busch. You know, the people who sell Budweiser, that company. And Dan Patrick just so happens to be neighbors with one of the executives on that board. Go figure. Dan Patrick, you know, you've been a good Republican, kinda, for the most part. The way you're pushing these and the lies that you're telling about those aren't right. That's just like, to me, that's kind of like the Texas House passing a bill mandating the 10 Commandments being put in classrooms. Now, I'm a Christian, 100% Christ follower. I will die for Christ. I've stood up for Christ. Currently I'm an ordained minister, trying to get my ministry degrees. You know, all that stuff. I believe in Christ. I read the Bible when I can. I have a podcast that I'm starting on ministry. My faith is pretty strong. I don't think that should go into effect, though. I really don't. It feels like, to me, the Republicans are either one of two ways in Texas, in the Texas legislature right now. They're either rhinos, which is Republican in name only, or they're too conservative. Don't get me wrong. I'm as conservative as I would like to be. I wish everybody was as conservative as I am. I'm pretty dang conservative. Capitalist, like a mofo. But you can't legislate salvation. You can't. You can't legislate salvation. The last people that I could think of right off that really and truly tried to legislate salvation also nailed a man to a cross about 2,000 years ago. A little over 2,000 years ago. Or wait, just under 2,000 years ago. My bad. Math is going off. I'm not mathing right. You can't legislate salvation, guys. That's like HB 1549. I'm not going to get into any details on that one. Go look it up. And that's in Texas, by the way. So, you know, what's going on with all of that? Little extra update about something else I've got going on. While I was living in Houston, I moved back to my hometown in Victoria, Texas. But while I was living in Houston, I joined a group called the Saturday Menudo Club. And it's been a great time with them. The group itself, it's little leans towards the conservative side. I will say that, but we are open. Basically, what we do is we are a group of people that meets on Saturdays. And I'm expanding that group to Victoria. But we meet on Saturdays and enjoy good food and talk politics. Really, we talk politics. Sometimes you'll see us have guest speakers. We will talk about current events, keep our local leadership, our state leadership accountable. And heck, we'll even open up the stage to let those who are running for office to and make their announcements or give their speeches and such there. It's a great time, great group of people, but it's called the Saturday Menudo Club. We have a great founder and co-founders, Edward Lopez de Casa, who's also I think he's like the head of a group called Snap. And no, that's not the food program. I'm going to have him on the shows one of these days and let him actually talk about Snap. His story is phenomenal. There's also Andy Valadez and Carmen Cavazos. All of them out of Houston. Two great people. In fact, I remember Carmen Cavazos reaching out to me when I was running for Congress against Al Green. Just talking to her motivation, her knowledge is just phenomenal. Andy's drive and what he can do with the computer and like media and marketing. Wow, the team is phenomenal. And I'm so glad to be a part of them. And now that I've had what I'm calling my last eye surgery. I'm going to start really doing what I can to expand that group and show it the value that is worth here in Victoria, because we need that type of organization here in Victoria as well. We've got a few of them, but we need something that's really grassroots, something that goes beyond the norms. And, you know, food and fellowship. That's what it's all about. Food, friend, and fellowships. Let's get together. Let's have a good time. Let's talk shop. And let's make sure that the community gets what it needs to get done. So, guys, thank y'all for joining me on this episode of the Latino Conservative Podcast. For those of you joining on TikTok, thank you so much for joining me. And again, I really apologize. I can't see the comments because I can't see the screen very well at all. But I can see the lines going up. I do appreciate that. I saw a gift or two come through. I appreciate that too. Really means a lot to me. Thank you very much. But look for more episodes. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Hit that follow button. Looking at you over there. Hit that follow button. And we will see you next time.